welcome back to Our Family Bee.
I'm Brandon.
I'm Brigitte. Today we're doing a little life update for you because a lot has happened.
Things have been a little cray.
So let's roll it.
Rolling it?
And we're here.
Oh, welcome back to Our Family Bee. If you're new here, we are a family of 4. All of our names start with B, and we are creating an online community to inspire each other to love well, live wisely, and be better together.
So if you haven't already subscribed, hit the button down below and make sure you hit the notification bell up to all so you don't miss any videos that come out, which is every Tuesday and Friday.
Tuesday and Friday. Yeah. But if you're already part of the OFB family, why haven't you hit the like button yet? It's right there. Like literally, it's right. Hit the like button and let's get on with it.
So listen, pull up a chair, sit down on your bottom, get something to drink, coffee, tea. I've got our obsession, which is a sparkling water.
I don't have one.
Oh, you're missing out.
I'm thirsty.
Should we break to get one?
No, I'll get something after.
Because we are giving you a life update in this video. A lot has happened in the last few weeks and we feel like we just need to update you on what's going on.
We got the Rona. I mean, was that just like too much?
You just jump right in. I mean, if you saw our videos a couple of them ago, I did get the coronavirus. Who knows from where? I mean, obviously.
She works in a hospital.
Yes, and I obviously scan a lot of corona patients, and so I go in and out of their rooms, often every shift, and yeah, I mean, it's not like we were surprised. I mean, we went, March, April, May, June, July, August, 5 months. It was not fun. I mean, I didn't feel like I was gonna die, thankfully.
Benjamin.
Chicken
wing, hot dog and bologna, chicken and macaroni, chilling with my homies. Okay, go ahead.
Somebody watches too much TikTok.
Nope.
So anyways, I did not have to be hospitalized, which I'm very thankful for, and we basically were quarantined in our house, and for a few days, it was like touch and go, like someone would lay on the couch and watch the kids run around going wild, and then someone would lay down upstairs, and then we'd switch because it was just like we both felt crappy, and literally no one else can come help watch the kids, so it's kind of like you're on your own.
It's a weird thing.
Yeah, it was kind of hard, and we are so thankful, though, that we had some friends and even people that were out of state that were like, hey, if you need us, to send you food, like a lot of people sent us DoorDash, like gift cards through text message, and somebody picked up our groceries for us that we ordered on Walmart pickup, and like that was such a huge help because making food when you just feel down and out is
and the
like
kids are
hard.
running everywhere, and you're losing your mind. It wasn't the sickest we've ever been. So she got it first. You got it worse than I did, I think, overall, especially for a couple days there. I was just starting to be a little tired overall when you were at your worst. I thought it was just because I was fried from trying to run things, and she was just kind of like you couldn't really do anything.
Yeah, it was just like everything was zapped out of me. And I mean, if you missed our vlogs, I'll link them up here, but every day it was like different symptoms, and it was just really strange, and yeah, it's just like I couldn't do anything. I never had breathing problems except for like the last few days. Yeah. And I never had a temperature, so.
Neither of us ever had fever or respiratory issues, except I had some like sinus stuff. But the funny thing is, when you go and search, you're like, oh, is this a symptom of COVID-19? All of the things are symptoms of COVID-19. If you're having respiratory symptoms, if you're having GI symptoms, if you're having aches or fatigue or leg pain or headaches or sinus pressure, you either have like allergies or coronavirus. It's like WebMD run amok, but with the entire medical community.
The day of, which was August 10th, is my first symptom, and it literally happened like a wave. All of a sudden, I felt it, and I was like, I feel really weird, and I was just kind of like praying, and this is like the same type of prayer I prayed before I went into labor with Brielle, and I was like, God, just give me wisdom to know what to do, because with Brielle, I didn't want to go into the hospital too early and then have to be sent home and all this stuff because I didn't know if I was in actual labor.
Right.
And so this one was I don't want to overreact and send up red flags and then it be nothing, but also I don't want to infect everyone around me. So I was like, God, I just need wisdom. I don't know what to do because kind of like a cold, but it came on so suddenly, and then it was my whole body was achy, which is what it felt like when we had the flu in 2018. So I was kind of just
it feels like the flu a lot.
Yeah, and especially in the beginning,
Yeah.
for me at least. And so I was just like, God, give me wisdom because I don't know what to do. And so like he gave me this gut feeling, and I was like, I think I should tell someone. And so like I ended up obviously calling employee health and everything from there, and then it ended up being positive. So I'm really glad that like God gave me that like, yeah, you should tell someone, and because it was positive, and it was just the weirdest thing. That was the last few weeks, and then because of that, the kids are out of school, and so Benjamin had his first day online instead of actually being in school. And because of where we live, private schools can start, but public schools are all virtual learning. So private schools usually give you the option of being virtual or in person. So we
choose in person.
Yeah, well, we work, and I mean, so it kind of, we didn't really have a choice.
No
anyways.
shade if you are concerned for your family and you're keeping your kids home. We totally get that.
No, I mean, well, if I had a different job, like maybe for a year we would decide to keep him home because he is young enough. He's kindergarten, and it's not like I need to learn how to teach fifth grade math.
Like if you were a full-time YouTuber?
Yeah.
Speaking of which, second part of the update, can we do that?
Sure.
We started a Patreon and YouTube channel memberships, and we've had a couple people jump into those, again, with the goal of, one of the goals, her being able to go full-time on YouTube in the next few years, and we've got this big 4-5-year plan that we're working, and who knows if we'll get there. Step one, though, is we got to get to 10,000 subscribers, so if you know somebody that might like our channel, share one of our videos with them that they might be interested in, and say, hey, go subscribe, they're super cool, and we want to support them. And some of you have started to support us monetarily, which is super cool, on the Patreon and the channel memberships.
So let's cut to our OFB supporter competition chart. We've got a new country to add to the board. So exciting! Anyone who supports us on any level through Patreon or through YouTube channel memberships can get their country represented or state on the board. So far, we have representatives from Florida, New Jersey, and Washington, and now we have our first international country to represent, which is Newfoundland, Canada. If you want a chance for your country or your state to be represented on our board, then click the link down below to support us on Patreon, or click the join button on YouTube channel memberships right next to the subscribe button. Let's get back to it. So, along with our competition...
Wait, hold on. Okay. Really, miss, I gotta put on makeup before I get in front of camera? I can't do this in my hair?
So, along with our country competition... So along with our country competition and us being able to like plan out this 5-year thing, which we wrote on the board, this is kind of what we did when we started to feel better, but we didn't really have energy to do much. We sat around and we were kind of dreaming and talking, and you know, for a few weeks there, we were just like, it was like touch and go. We couldn't do anything, and we didn't really have the drive to do anything, and so it was really cool. We were able to sit down, and we've had a few of these goals for, you know, I'd say 6 to 8 months, you know? So we kind of honed in on, we rewrote them. And it was cool because we had written some of this, you know, a few months ago, and we were able to look back and be like, oh, wow, we're doing this now. We're doing this now. And we kind of could see some of our progress on the things that we had, like, visioned for ourselves a few months ago. And so just seeing the whole timeline and just, like, I mean, we don't know where God's going to lead us and how he's going to use this channel and how he's going to change us over the next few years. But we have kind of this like idea in our head. We're not going to really share all of it, but like it's big, and it's bigger than us, and there's no way we can accomplish it on our own. And it definitely will have to be God-driven and people supported. And so we're taking tiny steps because that's all we can do at this point, and we're going to just see where God leads. It's really cool because it's not just us, you know, it involves lots of other people, and we think that's cool because we like people, you know. And
we like people so much that part of being a supporter is actually being given access to a private chat space where we can talk to just the folks who are helping to support the channel and some of our besties. It's just a small group right now. We want it to grow, so if you support at any level, $3, $9, $25, any of those levels give you access to our Discord server where we're in there every day, at least once usually. And there's people talking and encouraging each other, and we'd love to see you there.
That's what's really cool is like, it's like all of our favorite people from our channel online, like, but they are all able to talk to each other.
Yes.
It's like so cool to see, and like people supporting each other and even praying for each other and just sharing like random pictures. Like, oh my gosh, I saw, like, we got a picture from Anna and she was like, I found this pillow and it says better together.
That was the coolest ever.
It was our colors too. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. And it's just like such a cool way to connect with people online. And there's only so much you can do through comments. And, you know, I mean, it's basically like you're texting them because it's like a big group text. And so it's really cool. So if you haven't already joined, be a supporter. It's so cool. You know, we love to show behind the scenes stuff and just kind of like other life updates because we only post videos twice a week. And then, you know, we're on Instagram and doing stories and stuff. But it's kind of cool to just be able to share our vision and stuff with like-minded people who are supporting us and each other. So.
And whether or not you're able to financially support, and again, if it's not in your budget, don't do it, please. But whether or not you're able to, we really do want to get to know you guys. So we know there are at least a couple thousand of you who watch us regularly, and we've never seen your names. We don't know who you are. We'd love to. YouTube doesn't give us all that information. So jump in the comments and say hi and tell us where you're watching from.
Or follow us on social media at OFB Social.
Yeah, we love talking to you guys on Instagram, down in the comments. Again, the best way is on our Discord server, which is just for our supporters for now. We just want to get to know the people who are part of this community.
All right, so on to like family updates. So I know that a lot of you can relate to this with children, that they go through phases and rhythms. And so lately, in the last like week, we've had this new rhythm where, okay, Brielle started to not go to sleep easily. And we were like, well, obviously then she's napping too much during the day. She was taking 2 naps. At school, she only does 1, and she comes home exhausted. And so anyways, we were like, all right, well, let's cut back her nap. So we tried 1 nap a day, and then she still didn't go to sleep. And it was just like, so
even though we knew she was tired, and she would tell us like, night night,
she goes, night night, because the sign language is like night night, and she's like night night, and like Benjamin never asks to go to bed, but she does, which is so funny. You know how kids are all different.
She's your daughter.
Yeah, I like to go to bed.
She loves to go to bed and sleeps immediately. Interlude. If you're the kind of person that can just lay down, head hits the pillow, and you're asleep, say that in the comments. But if you're like me and you lie in bed for hours thinking about everything happening in your life and around the world and what might happen or might not happen, and don't sleep well, say that in the comments too. Please continue.
So, you know, it's just like a reminder that life is ever changing. And I am such a routine person. I love routine. I wish everything could stay the same every single day. Like, I mean, not that I don't like change, because like I do, but I also like things to be predictable, because I like to feel like I'm in control. And with kids, it's a constant reminder that you're not in control, because they're growing and they're changing. And so, you know, I feel like we would get into this rhythm and be like, all right, we got this. Everyone's sleeping. Everyone's doing good. We got lunches down. We've got meals down. And then it's like, they don't sleep at the same time. They don't want to eat that anymore. They want to just do this and that. And it's like, we had just settled into something, and then it changed. And then you kind of get a handle on that, and then changes again. And then something in life will happen.
And it's like God reminding you, you are not in control.
Yeah. And I don't know. It's just something like I've been thinking about, and sometimes I'm discouraged by the changing of the rhythms, but then I'm like, okay, it's going to happen. So let's find a new rhythm, go with that for as long as it works, and then when it doesn't work anymore, then we'll change it. And, you know, it's
wisdom.
Yeah. Also, I thought it would be cool if we could share, like, what we're doing with our Bible time.
I didn't know this was coming up. Is this a quiz?
I know. It was a
Oh, you mean like how we each differently read?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, okay. Okay, do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
Sure, I can go first.
Okay. What was that? Water?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Hydrate. People hydrate.
Okay.
Okay, so recently, I've been trying to get into the habit of reading in the morning mostly. I printed off a chronological Bible reading plan. It's for a year, but sometimes if I have the time, some days I do more than like that day, and because other days like I do less. So it's usually a few chapters. So it starts in Genesis, but then it goes to Job, which is interesting. So I'm like halfway through Job, and so I write the date next to it, and I highlight when I'm done with it.
She's getting a lot of encouragement right now, is what she's saying. Job.
Job is, very interesting if you've never read it. Some of it I was like, oh, I relate. And some of it I'm like, what are these friends talking about to Job? They're like making him feel like crap and he already feels like crap. I don't know. Yeah, so I've been trying to, like, when I have something that strikes me, write it down. And then we've sometimes been able to talk about it when we get to read in the morning together, since I've been going in sometimes later, or obviously the last few weeks I've had off. So when I was starting to feel better and I was starting to read more, we were able to talk about it in the morning and have our cold brew, which, if you've never made that, check out the link down below.
The or up there. Wait, up here. Card.
It's the best ever.
Yeah.
It's been good because, you know, I'm a checklist person, so I like to highlight that I read that, and I can see, like, how far I'm coming. And
Brigitte and I have very different personalities. She's all about order and instruction and specificity. And I like putting things into order, but I don't like being directed what to read. It always bugged me in school, even. So, like, Bible in a year plans and things like that, I think they're great for people who like that. That's awesome. I've done it. I don't love it. I actually like to just read kind of chronologically, not by book, but like I'd like to read through a whole book. Kind of just stop whenever I have a question, right? Whenever something makes me go, what does this really mean? Or like, what is Jesus talking about here? And so I'll stop and make that like stopping point for the day, and I'll go check a concordance if I need to, or I'll pull up like a few commentaries and I'll look and see what different thoughts are on it. It usually only ends up being half a chapter, sometimes, depending on the book. Sometimes it's a couple chapters, like I'm most of the way through Matthew right now, and I'm reading some parables like this morning. I was like, but who are the weeds out amongst the wheat exactly? And what does that mean? And are they weeds by their nature? Are they weeds by sovereign ordaining of God, like his election that they're weeds? Not getting into that debate here. That's not my point. I'm like, okay, there's a question here. I don't have full understanding. I'll never have full understanding about anything, I think, really, in Scripture, like, until we're there. Can I get some more out of this? And I'll stop, do a little study maybe. The next day I'll come back and read that same thing again. And I might do that 3 or 4 days in a row, because I feel like, you know, some foods you have to chew on to get everything out of them. And I think Scripture's like that. Again, that's for me. That's like not throwing shade on anybody else's Bible reading technique. There's a billion ways to do it. And I don't know that most of them are wrong. Unless you're doing the flip a page, drop a coin, don't do that. I just like to kind of take my time and chew on it.
Yeah. You know, one of the things that we were talking about the other day that has been recurring about, you know, when we talk about things in life is the burden of the blessing, you know, and we kind of had this conversation after watching our church online last week, and it kind of just struck me. Like, I don't know, I just hadn't ever thought about it like that before. It's like, oh, this is such a blessing, but that doesn't mean that it's going to be all like rainbows and butterflies and like hunky-dory.
Well, maybe explain what that means, the burden of the blessing. Like,
so like you have a blessing of, say, a house, a roof over your head.
Yep.
Okay, let's just take that. But you have to maintain it. You have to pay for the rent.
The AC might break.
The property taxes, or you have to, you know, clean it and, you know, just upkeep it.
Yeah.
So the house is a blessing. Like, it gives you shelter and a secure place to sleep. But it's also like, if you think about all the stuff that it requires, it can become this burden.
Yeah.
So, you know, when we think about blessings in our lives, don't let the burden that blessing can be take away from the joy of the blessing. Or from, like, stepping into a blessing is kind of what we were talking about with it.
And I think this comes into play a lot with the way we think about our growth as people, or professionally even. Let's put it in context of, like, the YouTube thing for us. If we had 1 million subscribers, well, we'd have to have more studio space. We'd have to have more on-camera personality, probably. We'd have to have, like, people to shoot. We'd have to have some writers, probably. We'd have to have somebody to manage the finances. We'd have to, yada, 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 yada. It gets bigger and bigger. Writers and editors, which we love doing editing, but we couldn't edit what we need to do to
just
keep
like
up to 1 million.
We would have to have a whole team. Like, we wouldn't be able to physically do it just the two of us.
Taxes would be complicated than they are right now.
Yeah.
Right? There's a burden that comes with that, right? But a burden comes with every blessing.
Yeah.
Right? If someone gave us a brand new house today, we'd have to pay the taxes.
Right.
Does that mean you don't want the house? But I think this is how some people act in life. There are people I knew growing up who decided to be homeless because they didn't want the responsibilities that came along with working and paying taxes.
Yeah, and I just don't want, like, when I think about my own life and decisions that I need to make, I don't want the burden of the future blessing to, like, deter me from stepping into all that God has for me or wants for me or things that are going to be good for me in the long run. And so it just struck me, and I just felt like we should share it with you because there's a burden with every blessing. Like, kids are such a joy, but they're a lot of work, and they are exhausting at times. You see their smiles and their laughs, and then they cuddle you. Oh, mommy, I love you. You know, and it's just like, So don't let the burden of the blessing deter you from stepping into that blessing.
Yeah.
So that's our life update. What's going on in your life? Leave a comment down below.
Let us know.
Yeah, and if you haven't already subscribed,
button
right here. To check out more videos we've made, look right over here and right over here. Pick one of those. Until we meet again, don't forget. Life is better together. Oh, we're rolling.
Yep. Rolling with the homies. We're looking at that, not that.